Well, hi everybody. Welcome to Working Horse with Jim. I am Jim and we're up logging at the Paul Smith College again today. It's about 15 degrees out. It's a beautiful day. We're getting a little bit of sun shining through the trees, but it's quite thick in here, so we're really not getting a lot of heat from that sun, especially down here in the woods. But also, the beauty about these thick woods is we're not getting the wind. I can hear the wind blowing, but I don't feel it down here, which makes for a lot better, enjoyable day because of that. This is lunchtime. As you can see, Baron and Bill are over there eating their lunch. I've already eaten. And now I'm down the landing, just scaling up logs, and we'll start the skid steer up and clean them up and pile them up. This will be the second time this morning I've started the skid steer to stack my logs. We've had a fairly successful morning. We actually had John, the forester here at the college, was able to come out with one student this morning, and they were able to help with the cutting, and or actually they did the cutting while I'm skidding these logs out. And so I expect would have had a fairly good morning. I'll scale it up and I'll tell you what's there. But this afternoon I'll be working alone, but that's okay. It's kind of nice that the students are just learning, so it's their John has to stop a lot and explain things to them, which is good, and I stop a lot to explain things to them also as I'm logging so that they can learn. So we'll get these tallied up and see what we have for a tally, and yeah, let's do that. I'm using my handy dandy international log rule that was actually given to me from a friend of ours from Canada. If you guys read the comments, you probably have read a bunch of things he's replied to on comments, and a lot of times they just put a comment down. But it's Chips, Crazy Chips. How are you doing today, Chips? So anyways, we actually met him once last summer at a horse bowl, and he seems like a really great guy. But so thanks again, Chips, for this log rule. So we'll get to scaling logs. I'll explain a couple things even as we're scaling logs. So when you scale a log, you always take the small end and scale from the small end. Some of these logs are uniform enough, they're actually kind of hard to tell which is the small end. Generally, I can always tell because I just pulled them out, so I know what they are. Also though, if you look at the branches that are coming out of them, they're always pointing towards the sky, as in like this type of thing. These aren't very big limbs to even be able to tell, but that's how I know also that this is the smallest end and down there is the big end. So they're both 16-foot logs, and so what I do is I will take the end and put it down inside the bark. So as you can see, there's about 220 feet in this log. Now, if I was at the mill scaling logs, I'd want to take into a lot of things into consideration. A lot of logs are not perfectly round, of course, so you have a longer side. This is a little bit longer than this, so you have to take that in consideration when you're scaling. Also, whenever there's red rot, and we do have a fair amount of red rot on this job, we have to take off, deduct for red rot, or at least the people at the mill do. I don't bother with any of that. The purpose of scaling logs for myself is to know when I have enough for a truckload, and just to give me a general idea of what I have. So when I'm scaling logs here on this job, I'm not worried too much about all these other things. I'm just going through and scale them up. And so this one here, we're gonna call that 280 feet. So what did I say back here? We have 280 and 220. So then I write it down in my book. So 280 and 220 is actually 500 feet. So I will just add those two up and put 500 down here. So those two logs, which are not the full tree, are 500 feet. So now I'll go back and scale the rest of these up. I've already scaled these off to our left up. And then I have this right here that we need to scale up. So I'll scale these up and then I'll show you how much the total is for the morning's work. Okay, so that's what we got for this morning's worth of work. We have 2,400 feet out, skidded, and as soon as I get them piled up, they'll be all piled up and all done and ready for the trucker. We've got a few loads there now, and I will head back up in and see what kind of troubles we can get into this afternoon. So our land is all cleaned up. Horses are all hitched up. So let's go get some logs. Yeah, Jeep. Catch that. We got a small fresh coat of snow last night, a couple inches, just enough to make the evergreens white and just enough to get snow down your neck as soon as you touch the trees. But it is kind of pretty. So we've kind of worked our way towards the back of this particular trail. There's a couple decent trees that still need to cut close to the front of the trail. Oh. We have one stump right there that I'm going to have to come back and cut down a little lower and cut it at an angle, but there's just enough dirt there. I don't really want to do it, but I'm going to have to because I got to straddle this stump to go out, and we still have quite a few more good sized trees up here. Guess so. Sure. So let's take a quick walk to where our tree is. Here's a big old ugly tree that we cut this morning. All rotten in the center. And kind of crooked, so we cut off a couple chunks before we took the rest out. We have a stump right here that I'm going to have to do something with, because it's the best bet is just to straddle that, which is fine, but I got to cut it down and I don't want to get my saw dull if I could help it. So here's our tree right over here that our student for the day put down, and it's not quite done. I just got to mark it up and finish it up, and we'll snake this out of here.
Here's that stump I just told you about earlier. I was going to have to cut down, and then I didn't cut it down, but I was able to, have been able to get by it all right just by hitching the chain on the outside of the cart, and then I didn't do it on this big log, and sure enough, I hit that stump, and it stopped us dead. So now we'll have to fix that.
Okay, we got that nice tree out. One of the better trees I've cut on this lot right here. No red rot, at least. Nice and clean. 2 16-footers. I'm curious to see how much board footage is in this 2 logs. So we'll call that 300 board feet, and that one there. And the second 16 is 250 board feet. So that's 550 board feet. Nice hitch. I wish some of the guys that are horse loggers that don't log in snow country like I'm able to do every winter, I wish they would have, you know, a chance to do that, to see how much easier logs slide when there's some snow cover and a nice packed trail. It is amazing how much easier they do pull. Okay, so I'm back in here for the top part of that last tree I just cut, and we took out 2 16-footers, as you saw, and this piece here has 3 16s, so that's going to make a total of 5 16s on this tree, which is definitely one of the better trees I've cut up here. That's pretty tall, and so I was able to actually skid it full length out to here, and then realized I'm not going to go around these corners. I've got to shorten up these hitches. So what I've done is I cut it and I rolled this log out of the way so there's enough room to slide through there, and I've got 2 chains on, and I'm going to pull that piece up to this piece, and then I'll take them both out together, or all 3 out together. So let's see how this goes. So I stopped because I was afraid we'd hit that tree right there. I reposition my chain slightly, and it should come right out now. So that's a lot safer hitch to try to get out of the woods. 3 16s is just too long. Okay, we're done for the day, and as you can see, the horses have hardly sweat today. It's really nice when I can work them hard all day and have them sweat hardly at all. Of course, the cold weather has a lot to do with that. Okay, so here's our total at the end of the day. It's 4,470 feet. That's a great day as far as I'm concerned. Very happy with how things went. You guys have a great day. We'll see you next time.